And then people kind of started to reassess that in real life time. That was then. What's happening right now? Market Watch's Scott Martin, Alan Nuckman. Alan, to you and what we saw then and what you're seeing now and what happened yesterday, I try to link them out only to say or wonder whether Republicans or market lovers are getting themselves here if, for example, the latest trend might be for Americans liking more spending, liking more government, liking the kind of things that Wall Street typically does not like. What do you think?
I think that's a pretty deep dive. I believe that we're in a just doesn't matter market where we continue to move higher because earnings are performing so well and these companies are making so much money. Let's enjoy this environment where everybody's making money. Yes, we're up significantly in the last year, but we're also up big since the 2009 lows. 2,000 points in the S&P, 17,000 points in the Dow, and 5,000 points in the NDX. So this is not a new market. This is just an extension of this overall trend. So that doesn't bother you, Alan, that it's been a long time coming? I only posit that because a lot of people say, well, you know, man, oh man, I mean, it's not just a brief ride we've been on. It's been a long ride. Yeah, those that are trying to pick the top, it's an impossible occupation there. I'm a believer that, and I'm always optimistic of opportunity. And if things do slow down, that will give us a chance to recalibrate. But right now, you've got to respect this train track trend.
You know, Scott, when you look at what happened the night Donald Trump was looking like he could actually pull it off and win, it was interesting sort of to telegraph that moment, the futures tanking, and then reassessing it in real time, as I said. And then realizing, wait a minute, this could be good. What did you make of that?
Yeah, I agree. It goes to show you, Neil, the market can shoot first and ask questions later. It can get caught off sides. But I'll tell you what else was going on. I talked to a lot of people on the subsequent days after the election last year, my friend. A lot of liberal people. And unfortunately for them, they were getting out. They were selling. They didn't believe in this agenda. They didn't believe in this president. And my goodness, has it cost them money? And that's really the issue here, too, Neil. To your question to Alan originally, I sure hope this isn't a vote on more government and more spending and, my goodness, not getting our fiscal house in order and not changing, let's say, the approach to business in this economy and in this country that has been so terrible the last 8 years. I think we're on the track of getting better and better with respect to how we treat our businesses in this country. That comes with this tax reform. It comes with these tax cuts. We have to see these get done if we want to see this market rally continue.
Alan, if the tax cuts don't materialize, you in the past have mentioned that they're a nice add-on, but not necessarily, the kind of stuff on which this market's fortunes would rest or fail. Do you still feel that way?
Yeah, we're at all-time record profits. It's only going to increase that profitability. Two catalysts I like right now, they're going to send the market higher. Crude oil's jumped 30% since the end of July, so all of those energy stocks that have been left behind are starting to play ball. And we're seeing the metals market boost here. We're seeing gold basing out and moving back up. So a lot of those mining stocks that have lagged behind here in the last month or two are going to come back into play.
You know, Scott, when you look back a year ago, and I always like to go back, and I'm talking about my colleagues, Lou Dobbs and Stuart Varney and Maria Bartiromo, and we were all covering this along with Trish Regan. We didn't sort of fall for the panic of the moment, but the sense that a consensus crowd can overdo it. Now the consensus crowd seems to be saying this rally has legs, can continue to advance. How do you feel about that?
You're making some good points. It's always darkest before dawn. It's always the hardest trade that you have to make. Alan knows this from his experience. That's usually the best one in the long term. And so when it seems too easy, Neil, when it seems too obvious, it probably is. But I'm just going to tell you, in the last year, the approach to business, the fact that we have this optimism, I mean, look at the surveys from the consumer to the business, look at the spending plans. Those are so much different than we've seen in this country than in the last 5-10 years. There's reason to be optimistic. I would just temper our expectations. We've had a huge year in, say, the NASDAQ. Collection 25+%. Those returns are likely not to continue. The upward swing is, but you have to make sure you check your expectations at the door.
All right, gentlemen.